Surely being a perfectionist is crucial for becoming the best tennis player that you can be, right? I will settle for nothing less than perfection and work tirelessly until I achieve it. We all know what that mindset leads to, and it's not performing well mentally in tennis matches, which is why you're here. Let me tell you a little story. The parent of a player I coached was a nuclear physicist, a very smart scientist in physics. And I asked them this question: if you had a die, which is the word for a single dice, but let's just call it a dice. And this dice was perfectly cubed in every way. You had a table that was perfectly flat in a room that was completely sealed with no air, and a robot that drops the dice in exactly the same way every single time with the 6 always facing down. Essentially, everything was exactly the same every single time the dice got dropped. Does the dice eventually stop on the same number every single time once it stopped bouncing around everywhere? Now, most people I ask that question to say yes, the dice would land on the same number every single time because all of the variables are the same every single time. So then I would say, okay, so if the answer's yes, does luck exist? Most people think about it for a second and then they say, yeah, I suppose it doesn't. That's not what the nuclear physicist said though. They said that the dice doesn't land on the same number every single time. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And they said, even if you had all the money in the world, all the smartest people in the world, you cannot create or do anything that is perfect. It is physically impossible. If you dropped that dice 1 billion times, at least once it would land on a different number. So we learned 2 things there. Number 1, luck doesn't exist. Luck isn't just something going around saying, oh, you get lots of luck and you don't. Luck is imperfect randomness. Unbiased randomness created by imperfection. And number 2, nothing and no one is perfect. It is physically impossible to be perfect. Imagine this. At one end of the scale, we've got a laboratory with all the best scientists and robots creating something. That's as close as you are going to get to perfection. At the other end of the scale, you've got humans who are affected by sleep, water, nutrition, fitness, stress. I could go on for a while. Then you throw that human into a chaotic sport called tennis, where you have the balls, the court, the weather, the score. There is another human being on the other side trying to beat you. Human beings playing tennis is so far away from perfect, it's an absolute joke. You've all heard this statistic by now. Djokovic, the best tennis player to have ever lived statistically, has only ever won 54% of all the points he has ever played in his adult professional career. And that doesn't include the points that he played as a junior player either. Just soak that in for a second and think about it. He is the best ever at tennis and has only got 54% of the way to being perfect. Think about how insane it must be to be that good at something while still being so far away from perfection. It blows my mind. So if there's anyone watching this video with 24 Grand Slams or less thinking that they can be perfect, I would suggest you need to have a good hard think about your mindset towards tennis. Now you must ask yourself, why are you a perfectionist? What has created that mindset for you? It's usually because of expectations. I know. I can hear your gasps through the screen. I know what you're saying. But Greg, I must hold myself and others to a high standard. I'm not going to achieve anything without having expectations. Okay, so surely if you were to go away from this video and increase your expectations as high as you possibly could, that would mean you would get more improvement. Reflect on that for a second. Is that what would actually happen? Everyone knows the answer to this from their own experience. The higher the expectation, the more unrealistic and unnecessary pressure you put on yourself. Expectations are you do it or you don't. It doesn't leave any room for if you actually improved towards what you wanted to do. You do it or you don't. You're perfect or you're not. Being a perfectionist comes from you putting expectations on yourself or having expectations put upon you by someone else. So now I hear you saying, okay, what do I need instead of expectations? The answer is goals, which I know is an incredibly basic answer, but let me explain. Let's imagine scenario 1. The expectation is to get to 10. Every single time you don't do it, you're going to feel like a failure and be tough on yourself. Even if you went from 2 to 4 to 6 to 9, it doesn't matter. You didn't do 10. Scenario 2. The goal is to achieve 10. You start at 2 and you get to 4. That's great. That's progress. Praise the focused effort you put towards whatever it is you put it towards to make that progress. Then you get to 6 and you do the same. Then you get to 9 and you do the same. Scenario 2 will get you to 10 way quicker than scenario 1. Humans who are rewarded for good behavior learn quicker and retain what they have learned far better than humans who are punished for bad behavior. This is proven basic psychology, guys. This is how everyone is improving quicker than you, so either get on board and change or get left behind. If you want to get on the waiting list for the Online Tennis Academy, where I cover these subjects, host live Q&As, my live podcast, and way more, subscribe and add your details in the link below to be one of the first in at a discounted rate.